Hello,
Hi there,
welcome to the Wine Safari.
and if you're new here, my name is Claire.
And my name is Wairimo. Yes, so we'll get right into it and tell you that today what we want to do is be your wine guides through wine terms. Because we know when it comes to wine has a language of its own. So when you are around people who really know their wine, or say during a wine event, you will hear people use words specifically associated with wine, and it can be a little bit intimidating, and it can sound like a foreign language. So we will take you through a few words or terms, and we have them in cards so that you can see the words and also know how they are spelled.
Okay, so the first one is wine. So what is wine? And wine is an alcoholic beverage that is made from fermented grapes.
Simple.
That's it. It's alcoholic. Underlined.
So definitely when you take wine, you will feel an after effect.
Yes, the same effect you feel with other, alcoholic beverages.
Yes. Okay. So the next one is vinification, and what this means is conversion of grape juice into wine by fermentation. So it's the whole process around the winemaking. And if you hear someone say vinification, what they mean is basically winemaking. Winemaking process.
Yeah. The other one is wine grapes. And as to why we said wine grape as a term, it's because we want to make sure you understand that it's not the table grape that you buy in the market that make wine. The grapes that make wine come from a species known as Vitis vinifera.
And they are way sweeter than table grapes. So you cannot sit down and have wine grapes the same way you have table grapes at home. No.
So they're different.
So the next term is winemaker, and that simply means a person who is skilled in the production of wine. And they can be employed by a wine company or have their own winery. And their responsibilities include taking care of wine in the winery, the making of it, checking the quality, all those things, so that you can have your good bottle at the end of the day.
So the other term is varietal, and varietal is wine made from a single variety, or wine made from a single grape, a single type of grape. Example is a Syrah. The grape here is Syrah, so this wine is made 100% from Syrah. So that's the meaning of a varietal wine. So this is a varietal wine.
Good. The next one is oaked, and I have stroked against it oak because it's one and the same thing. So when you hear someone say the wine is oaked or the wine has oak characters, what this means is that the wine shows characters of a wine that has been developed in oak, and what they have, or what you get, is aromas and flavors of vanilla, baking spices, that kind of thing. So don't be alarmed when someone says that a wine is oaked. That generally means it has specific notes in it.
And this term is usually used mostly in Chardonnays, like people prefer oaked Chardonnays.
Yes.
So you'll find
they denote a more richer and more complex wine
in Chardonnay.
In
that
Chardonnay especially.
Taste or the flavor, you really find it in Chardonnay.
Then
the other one is vineyard. Oh, did you say it? Vineyard.
We hope you can see the words, guys.
And
you can see us as well. Please forgive us for the light. God is blessing us today.
So what is vineyard? And vineyard is generally the plantation of grapes. So it's where grapes are planted, or a farm of grapes.
So the next one is cork, and I have corked under it because they look the same, but they have different meanings. So a cork is just, it's this thing that is used in closing business when a wine is bottled. So when this thing is on, what it helps do is it prevents air from entering into the bottle. Air is bad for aging wine or for storing wine. So when a wine is corked, it is good for a lifetime, especially when the wine has good age ability to stay on for a long time. Yeah. And corked now, under it, this does not mean any good when it comes to wine. It basically means that a wine tastes bad, right? Yeah. So when you hear someone say, I can't have this wine because it's corked, it means the wine has gone bad, and bad wines do not taste good at all. Yeah.
So the other one is a corkscrew. A corkscrew is this. It's a tool that is used to open wine bottles, especially those ones that are
have cork.
cork that have cork.
Yes.
So yeah, in a different topic we'll show you how to use the cork and how to open a bottle.
You can look forward to that one.
Is the cork. We'll also name the parts.
Yeah, and they have different names because this is called a waiter's corkscrew.
Yeah, there are different types of corkscrew.
Yeah, true. So the next term is barrel, and I have words under it because they can mean the same thing. So barrel is a vessel that is made from wood and it is used to store wine. So although you find that this is barrel is especially used to store red wines, with an exception of white wines like Chardonnay. Right.
So the next term is fermentation, and fermentation is the conversion of sugars into into alcohol by yeast. Yeah, so that is the process.
So two key things, sugar and yeast. Okay. The next term for me is wine tasting. I'm sure you have heard or at least seen this a lot. And what this means is you can have a wine tasting, which is a sitting when, say, winemakers or people associated with the process of producing wine, then they have a sitting to vet the wine, or basically to taste it. And also you can have a wine tasting as an event where people come together and taste wine so that they can, experience and enjoy wine and also get to understand their own taste.
Yes.
So wine tasting is good when you want to explore different wines.
Yeah. Without necessarily getting drunk.
Yeah, when you taste wine, it is advisable that you spit it.
Yeah. The other term is vintage, and vintage is when the grapes were harvested, and mostly they're mostly labeled in the label on the bottle.
Yeah.
And the vintage here is 2014. So 2014 is when these grapes were harvested. Yeah.
Simple, guys, simple things. So the next term for me is aging, and what this means, or when you hear someone say that this wine is good for aging, or this is a potentially well-aged wine, it means that the wine has been kept or has potential to be kept for a certain amount of time. So you can find wine that is aged for years, for a decade, for more than 20 years, but mostly good wines are aged between 10 to 20 years. Yeah, and when you have wine that is that old, it tastes fantastic. Yes.
Also, it's so expensive.
Yeah, they tend to be more expensive, a whole lot of expensive. Yeah. Okay.
The other one is bottle sizes. And we say bottle sizes because these wines are bottled in different sizes of bottles. But the standard one is 750 ml.
The one that you find at the shops.
Yes, 750 ml, is it? 750 ml.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the 500 ml, the small bottles, but we don't have them for now. And then we have the big ones, this is 1.5 liters. So it's very good for big functions.
Yes, for parties, grab these big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it running out. The standard one carries glasses, like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Depending on how many you are, or just by yourself, you know.
So this is around 10 wine glasses.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the next term is blend, and what this means, or when you hear someone tell you that a wine is a blend, it means that a wine is made from more than one grape. It can be 2 grapes, it can be 3, depending on what the winemaker intends, the kind of wine the winemaker intends for his consumers. Yeah.
So example.
Yeah.
Examples here. These are blends.
Yes. So this is a 2 grape blend, a Malo and Syrah. It says right here, it's a red blend. Yeah.
And that's why you see most of the blends, they have names, like they're given names. They're not named after a specific grape.
Yeah.
So like this one is hot to trot. So maybe the winemaker came up with that.
Yeah, they look for a fancy name because
Yeah.
they cannot name all the grapes in the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also this one is a blend.
Guys, this is a blend, and you can find the word alloy because alloy, if you remember from your science, is a combination. So this is a blend of more than how many grapes?
We have so many grapes. I guess they're around 4. Because we have a Cabernet Sauvignon, we have a Merlot, we have a Cabernet Franc, and Petit Verdot. There are 4.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a length. Not this length that we have. Also wines have length.
That does not mean they work.
You mostly see them in the glass when you serve wine and then swirl it.
Yes.
The legs,
Yeah, what do they show?
they drop like tears on you.
Yeah. So if you pay attention, it can tell you a lot about a wine, and especially the alcohol content.
Yeah. If they are thin, they are high in alcohol content.
Yeah. You said many. Yeah. You see them coming down. Those are the legs.
I'm done.
The other term is stainless steel tanks and tanks. So they are tanks, but they are made of stainless steel, and you will find this especially used with white wines, because what they do is that they develop wines that at the end of the day will be more fresh and have more fruity flavors and aromas because of the freshness from the stainless steel.
Yeah.
The other term is pant. Pant is this dimple you find under the bottle.
But that doesn't mean that if it doesn't have that,
It's not a
or
good
whatever,
wine.
like this one, it's not a good wine.
Yeah, they just probably have
There's that
misconception or myth
Yeah.
that if a wine does not have this part, it's not good. But not all of them have, so whether it has or it has not, you will only know if a wine is good by tasting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is, and the last, but not, well, we're almost done, guys, is decanting. And what this means is holding on, wine is poured into a decanter. Why the word decanting? Because we have vessels called decanters that are used to hold wine, to help and when wine is decanted, it aerates. And so you can decant wine for a certain amount of time, and this really helps to
Make the wine breathe.
yeah, aerate the wine, so the wine shows more, it becomes more aromatic, it tastes better. It's especially good with red wines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, last but not least, you will hear wine from us. We call wine here because we are English people, but other people from around the world in their different languages called wine differently, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So wine in Spanish is vino.
Vino.
Vino. So can you serve me some vino? You are very correct saying vino.
Yeah, and I feel like so many people use the word vino. If it's not wine, you'll hear people saying vino.
Vino.
So if they say vino, it's wine.
They mean wine. Yeah, in French it's vin. In Italian it's vino.
Vino. The same as Spanish.
Vino. You know.
I say vino.
The Italian way. And then we have in German it's Wein, and of course in Swahili it's
Vino.
Vino.
We've come to the end of our video today.
Yes.
And it was about terms, definition, or the terms used in wine as a whole. So
We hope you no longer feel afraid to approach people talking about wine. When you go to those wine tastings, rock on, be bold and speak about wine the way, whichever way is comfortable to you, as long as you understand what the words mean.
yes, and if you have come along a term that you have not defined, please comment in the section and we'll define it for you.
So like, comment, subscribe, all that good thing. So from us here at the Wine Safari, we hope to see you next Thursday.
Same place, same people.
Take care of your wine.
vino.
Armbino. Yes. Bye.
Bye.